Welcome back to Draft Queens Off the Clock podcast, the official podcast of the Draft Queens Fantasy League. Did you miss us? We missed you. I'm Kristin.
And I'm Kat, and I missed you guys so much. I hope you enjoy our next episode as we recap a couple of the last few weeks. So I'm going to kick it off to Kristin. Kristin, where are we going?
We've got a very exciting weeks in review for you. We apologize for our absence. So let's talk about what's happened in weeks 8, 9, and 10. We did see the return of Lamar to the Ravens, and the Ravens' return in general. Shout out to their defense as they went 3 straight wins. Is it too late for a playoff turnaround? I honestly don't know. But we know that Bree is sleeping a lot better right now, and so we're happy for her for that. We do have a special guest this episode, and as she is well aware, Jonathan Taylor was quite a standout in week 10. 50 fucking fantasy points? I don't even know what else to say about that one. I'm sure we'll come back to it. And crush of the pod, Mr. Jalen Hurts continues to shine and look good doing it. And it's always a good day to root for Josh Allen, but the strong start to the Bills season is starting to show some cracks. Losing to the Miami Dolphins is embarrassing. And while there's always time to hate on the Jets, the Raiders are really giving them a challenge for Mayor of Struggle Bus City. Pete and Gino may have pulled it together in Seattle, but this is a rough one to watch as they fall to 2-7. Ironically, the same stats as the Jets. Kat, what you got?
Well, first of all, to talk about the Raiders really quickly, as someone who drafted Brock Bowers in my whole strategy of a good tight end, I was very happy to see him come back in week 8 or week 9. I don't know. The weeks are running together. And he then had subsequently like 35 points, whatever week it was. So great. And then the next week he sucked. So it was like, what am I really looking for here? But to go into our Draft Queens League, in week 8, I'm going to do a week 8, 9, and 10 since we have so many weeks that we missed. Shout out to Megan for pulling off a nice victory over Nadia to remain very much in the middle of the pack here. And Colette for squeaking out a super close, less than 1 point victory over Lou, also in week 8.
Those hurt.
And then those hurt, man. I'd rather lose by 30 than lose by less than 1 point because that's fucking sucks. So Luann's team really good, number 1 overall points, but in 5th or 6th place, which is crazy to me because a lot of those things have happened. Sucks. Bad luck for you. And then in week 9, Hannah had a nice upset victory over Bree.
Nice.
Right? Like, good job, Hannah. I think she set her lineup. She knew what she was doing. She woke up on time. I don't know if there was an international game, but whatever she did, it worked. And then for me, sucked in week 9, even though I had a whole 127 points, which in fantasy is a lot, I still lost. I don't know. I didn't even, you know what? I put it out of my mind because we're already in week 11. I don't know who I lost to, but like, am I a loser? Probably.
If you need help learning how to process it, I've had some experience. Past
I'm not a great processor here. I'm a set it and forget it type person. And then week 10, Yahoo somehow dubbed that our rivalry week. I don't know if that was just for me or if that showed rivalry week for everyone. I'm not sure. When I looked back on the standings today when I was doing my research, it said rivalry week, and I was like, this is weird. I don't know why. But yeah, despite it being rivalry week and my quarterback and Rashee Rice, my number 1 receiver, were out, I happened to move into first place and am the only team that is 7-3. The only team with 7 victories. And even though I have the 5th most points, so I don't know if that
means... Take a drink every time she talks about her being in first place.
Yeah. Well, yes, exactly. So I will also drink to that. Yay, I'm smart. I didn't actually drink. Hold on. Great. Yes. And then Bree had an incredible overall team win, 170 total points.
That's I don't know wild.
I know. I only saw the number. I didn't actually look at the whole team and how much everyone put up. But if you're going 170, you have like 9-10 people. That means that you're doing at least like 17-18 each, which is crazy. Like, that means a kicker did that and a defense did that.
Good for
So
her.
I don't know, like, I hope that never happens again for everyone else in our league. No, I'm just kidding. I do. That was sick. But 170 points is, I legitimately think that that was the highest I've ever seen. So and then as Kristen already said, we're gonna have a special guest star come on later today and talk about Jonathan Taylor, aka JTT, going off for 50 fucking fantasy points in week 10. Again, I think that might be the most I've ever seen.
Welcome to After Review, where we decided that this is outside the statute of limitations because 3 weeks is just far too long to try to recap all of our mistakes. Although I will say, I probably got some math wrong.
Here's the thing. I don't actually think you did, because every time you do, I call it out in the edit, and I actually think you got it right. So I just
This
don't
is
think you really
growth.
had. I don't really think yeah, it's it for Harvard and all. She's finally good at math, guys. I really don't think we had any.
Now we're going to take it to the biggest winners and losers of the past week or weeks. Kat, who you got?
All right, in our Draft Queens League, oh, here we go. Got a drink, guys. Gotta shout out to myself here for in week 10 finally being a sole number one, the only team at 7 wins. So I am the biggest winner, I would say, for the last 3 weeks. And then shout out to our other homie Tia, who has rattled off 4 wins in a row, the highest win streak that we have in our league. Um,
And a
I
very
knew it.
close one of those against me this
Yeah,
past
how
week
much
that
did
I
you
really
have?
thought I was going to pull that out.
Wait, wasn't I with you, right? I was with you and you were like, I think I'm gonna beat Tia, and then you
I
didn't. And then
did. And, I
yeah.
said if Jordan Love had a bad game, then I might be, in there. But then my other players also had a bad game. So here we are.
Well, so are you the biggest loser then?
I'm working on it. My biggest winner, shout out to my Seahawks as one of my winners of the week, currently tied for first in the NFC West against our hometown rivals, the Rams. And as a special treat, we'll actually be taking the pod on the road this week as we head to SoFi to watch this rivalry game in action. And you know what, Kat? I will say shout out to your Niners. Also, I think winners of the week. With a now healthy-ish roster, their offense is looking pretty okay. This is a real return to form after a really rough mid-season. And for my losers, the poor Bengals. Losing Joey B was a blow, but Flacco's old man woes continue to bring them down. And then the Giants losing Scattaboo and now Dart, the gruesome twosome. It is a really rough turn of events for a team that I generally don't really care about that much, except for my adoration for Jameis Winston. Not to fully gloss over the concerns about maybe some of his character in college. You gotta admit he's one of the funniest players to put on a hot mic.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful when you can get sleep because you feel like that you're where you desire to be.
We are so pleased to introduce the first guest of the Draft Queens Off the Clock podcast, a Mrs. Brett Ragland.
Hello, hello.
Brett is a fellow Portland area native, one of the OG members of the Draft Queens, and an all around fabulous human. And we are so pleased to have her today to talk about her J. Crew, who, outside of Kat's recent comeuppance, has been kicking everyone's butt all season.
There was
So, Brett,
I was on a
welcome.
streak for a while, yeah, but then it is abruptly ended very quickly, or just as Kat is ascending.
I have a couple questions. I don't want to make this too interviewee because, like, why? But like, this is why you're just our friend and we're hanging out. So your team name is J Crew, which you're welcome for that name.
You really gave that to me, and I appreciate. And I honestly didn't see the J names until you said something. I'm like, dang, that they are. We got a lot of J's over here.
So my question for you is, with Jaden Daniels going out and out for the rest of the season, which was what, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you had a different quarterback, and then you decided to go back to the J, and like, did you realize that you had to commit to the bit to like win, or were you just like, this is all I've got, and I got something, and it just happened to work? Like, I don't know, what were you thinking?
Both of them went out, and I was like, well, okay, now I just need to win. So, like, let's pick up the best person. Again, I had to go back to the Jays because I had lost 3 games in a row, because I diverted from the bits, but you really got to commit, honestly. And if I'm going to lose, at least I'll go down with my Jays, you know?
So
We should make a winner punishment at this rate.
Yeah, exactly.
lose gracefully and win gracefully. I mean, did we even tell Kristen? Did we even tell the podcast like what our loser punishment ended up being?
No, we haven't. I think this is as good a time as any to
Great.
share. The loser of the Draft Queens Fantasy League, based upon final standings after playoffs this season, will be required to complete the BBC Beatbox Buzzball Cutwater Challenge, of which you must consume a large portion or actively consume while then doing 10 minutes of live commentary on Instagram of the Super Bowl, of the 10 minutes of your choice. No, it cannot be a commercial break. So I'm so glad that I've had some practice here in my commentating.
Yeah,
It's
right?
not looking so good for me. But, I'm excited to see what comes out of it.
Actually, can we put it on the Draft Queens YouTube?
We'd have to do it through YouTube, but maybe.
A bonus episode of the pod of this 10 minutes of commentary. I
think
love
it could
it.
it could be an option.
But yeah, so I guess just because we don't want to keep you forever, Brett, like, how are you feeling moving into the latter half of the season with this team that you have?
It's hard to say because this week I'm kind of screwed. Both of my running backs are on a bye. Probably should have looked at that when I drafted. Whoops the daisies. So I'm against Hannah this week, and Hannah I think is the bottom of the league, but she is slated
Right.
to beat me. So fingers crossed. Honestly,
Okay.
it's week to week, and every week I'm scared.
Yeah. How do you when you make your lineups and stuff? Do you look ahead or you hi? Oh, we had her for a second.
Just
Had
like
her
a-
for a second.
And then she just
And scene. Do you look ahead or do you just kind of wing it when you're making it week to week? What's your process?
I'm looking ahead. I'm looking at everybody else's lineups. I'm looking at what, when are people's buys. I'm spending way too much time on the app. Especially for
I love that.
how little money we win if we do win.
I
But
mean, right? The amount of time that I spend looking at this shit, I'm like, wow, this is gonna be point negative dollars for an hour if I actually win. Cool.
Who of your J crew next year, say if you were a top draft pick, or had your pick of the game, who would be your first choice to carry over?
Ooh, it's a good one.
that's interesting because Jonathan Taylor just scored a monster amount of points this year. I think he's got a long career ahead of him. He's my favorite right now, but it switches so much. I feel like, and I was so rooting for Jaden Daniels. I feel like he still hopefully next
Me
year will
too.
come back and stronger and smarter. I feel like he's taken too many risks, which has led to a lot of injuries. But I love all these guys. I love my Jays.
Yeah.
I'll keep them all.
Yeah, I just your team is just strong, man. It's too I don't know. I'm just mad. I'm just mad at myself for not paying attention more than
This
anything
isn't Brett's
else.
interview. This is
But you
Kat's
never-
ranting.
It's my internal monologue of how pissed off I am about not thinking ahead. I've just bragged about thinking ahead, and then watching you draft, I'm like, why would we let her take Jonathan Taylor and Justin Jefferson?
Yeah. It's hard though because you never know. I was looking at Tia's team as soon as the draft. I was like, dang, she got all the really good people, and she did for a while. But then they get hurt, and you never know who's
that's
going to
true.
stay healthy all season, who's
That's
going to really
true.
perform, who's going to outperform.
Which to that point, I would ask you, what do you feel is the biggest lesson you've taken from the past couple of years in this league, whether it is football in general or strategy for fantasy?
Oh my goodness. I think someone shared a video early on of about the draft, and it's you can't win on the draft, but you can lose. And so the draft is incredibly important, and it's gotten easier and easier every year as I get familiar with these guys and know who can, who's good if he's on a good team, but who's good no matter what.
Yeah.
And really understanding who these guys are, and then also being open to surprises, because I feel there's some years where I'm not picking up people on the waiver very much, and like those are the years I do really poorly. Like you have to constantly be thinking like of all these other guys who's about to pop, who are like trying to prove themselves, and like making sure that you're paying attention and can grab onto those when they come along.
I would say, yeah, have you been watching the waiver wire? It sounds like Kat's noticed that you have been.
Yeah, I've been riding it, and I feel like especially this week I had to pick up I think two major players because both of my running backs are out and everyone's injured. So I'm constantly on there picking up people, but I'm not really looking at who else is picking up people. So I think I should pay more attention to that and be like,
Any final words, Brett, before I cue you out?
I love this league. I'm so thankful for it. I feel like the girls have really bonded over it, but I'm gonna win this year, so everyone can suck it.
And on that
Hey.
note, thank you
Damn.
to our first guest of the pod, Brett. We loved having you. Come back
Love you, Brett.
anytime.
All right. Okay, Kristin, we're back with the fan favorite corner of them all, our week 6 zaddy corner.
Well, the time has come, Amar. It's been nice. If you leave me when this is over, I understand. But welcome to the zaddy corner, Nick Sirianni. This feels a little like cheating. But listen, the heart wants what it wants. And apparently it wants a man who looks like he spends every game calculating both fourth down probabilities and who in the stadium he wants to beef with afterwards. A man after my own heart. So Nick Sirianni is the kind of zaddy who doesn't walk into a stadium. He storms in like someone parked in his spot. He smirks, he chirps at fans, he hits you with the, yeah, we went for it on a 4th and 1. What about it face? It's giving unhinged confidence. It's giving suburban dad who just won an argument about mulch. And you know what? It works for me. And look, I know Eagles fans are basically feral raccoons with jerseys. I get it. But Sirianni, he's the raccoon king. They would storm a Wawa for him. They would climb lampposts for him. I would climb him. And yes, I bravely declare at great personal risk, Nick Sirianni is a zaddy. A problematic one. A chaotic one. A man you wouldn't trust to talk to customer service on your behalf, but somehow absolutely trust to win a football game. And my heart.
All right. We've got the 2-minute warning. Kristin, where are we going? Very quickly, off to you go now.
Lions, Eagles, Chiefs, Broncos, Seahawks, Rams. These are going to be my competitive games of the week. I think these could really go either way, and it'll be fun to watch regardless. The Eagles are going to be at home, but the Lions have been quietly dangerous. I'll pick the Lions to pull off a road win. The Chiefs and Broncos are the big AFC division matchup. I think the Chiefs should pull ahead thanks to their offense and just general experience. The Broncos are going to fight, but I do expect KC to walk away with that W. And obviously, I am pulling for a Seahawks win against the Rams this weekend. If I'm going to be in their presence, I expect them to fight hard. For the Queens, I think that Kat and Brett are going to stay 1 and 2, respectively, for another week. Brett is up against Hannah, and while she may get some birthday juju, considering her commitment to her lineup on a normal week, not too positive. As for me, that loser punishment is getting closer and closer by the day. Good thing I'm an experienced commentator now. Kat, what's on your mind?
In the Queens, look, I know I've spoke about myself a lot this week. It must be my new pink hair. Thank you.
Very cute.
Thank you. I am actually looking forward to my matchup with Nadia the most, and here's why. So last week, I grabbed Jacoby Brissett, the backup quarterback for the Cardinals, who is the NFC division rival of the 49ers. So I watched them closely. And because Mahomie, my guy, was on bye week. So Jacoby performed super duper well, and I have this gut feeling that I just want to roll with him for week 11. And I am sitting Patrick Mahomes, and I'm going to start Jacoby this week. So I am taking the risk, and I'm putting Jacoby in instead of Patrick Mahomes, and fingers crossed. So that's why I'm looking forward to my matchup the most in the NFL. Again, I promised my friends I wouldn't be a piece of shit and wear a 49ers shirt to the Seahawks-Rams game that me and Kristin and a bunch of our other friends are going to be at, so I'm not.
And
All right.
that wraps up episode 6 of the Draft Queens Off the Clock pod. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And special thanks to our special guest, Brett. Thank you for being down to hang. You're a real one. And you know what? We are rooting for your J. Crew as much as the competition will allow us to. And also a special happy birthday to Hannah. May the birthday gods reward you handsomely.
Happy birthday, Hannah. We love you. And Brett, thank you very much for coming on. We won't we won't talk too much shit again. I wish you guys all the success as much as it doesn't bother me. But thank you very much, guys. We will be back in a couple of weeks, next week. We don't know, and we'll see.
Yeah.